Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2, the China edition, where we are now officially exporting tools out of China to many of the Western countries. Weirdly, guys, to the west of China. I mean, that's how it works, right? We're now bringing the tools out and they're getting delivered to many of the different cities that we now have set up. This one's stopping right now in Vietnam and dropping off the goods, and then it's about to head back. And it's doing pretty well. I think the only downside we've got right now is the fact that they're not getting enough wooden planks delivered. They are now starting to level up, but we need more wooden planks. And to get wooden planks, we need to give these wood sawmills more wood. Now, we are doing that. We have the deliveries coming from Japan. We also set up this brand new little vehicle route right now, which is making sure we've got adequate deliveries. We seem to have quite a few planks on the platform. So it might be a case, boys, we either need a third train or we need to edit these to carry more wood. Right, let's give these a 300 capacity each. And then we'll see how we get on with that. That's kind of the equivalent of adding another train. We'll see how we get on. Now, we do have a little bit of a logistical nightmare that we tried to solve last episode. It only ended up making it even more confusing. Not because I did some boo-boos. It mainly is because I did some boo-boos, but I was trying to race against the clock to try and get it done. And in turn, I did a few little questionable bits and bobs, but we also discovered with a few minor changes right now, we could make this simply as amazing as we can. I don't know what's going on over here right now, boys, with all of this, but we're going to solve it. We are going to solve it. We need to sort out some of the crissy-crossies. They can technically right now all be on separate lines. So, before we get into it, and before we fix the monstrosity that we did last episode, I just want to say right now, boys, if you are enjoying the series, make sure you smash that like button down below, subscribe if you are new, so you do get notified when more episodes do come out. Now, one of the great things we did is we separated the grain line from coming into here, the two grain lines, to then coming to the food processing plant there. Separate platform, separate station, made a world of difference. So much, in fact, that we can now give everything its own separate lines, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Now, one of the things that we kind of need to do right now is we need to solve some of the problems that we do have leading in, mainly around this section here that you can see on the screen right now. Now, what we want to do is we want to separate each and every single one of these individual lines. They have individual platforms they then come in. They're all separated until we get to here, and then it's a bit funky and it kind of gets a little bit annoying. We can make this so much better. So much better. But we have to slightly work a little bit backwards. So what I'm actually first going to do is take a look at the two lines that come into the grain section. Now, while this one line is completely fine, right, it's this secondary line that comes down here which poses a big problem. Now that line is grain or Shanghai Grain 2. And right now it comes down, it crisscrosses here so we can utilize both sides of the station. I'm thinking it no longer needs to utilize both sides of the station. So in Wuhan right now, we're only going to get it to utilize number 2 and only number 2. That means it doesn't have to come and pop up here, and then we can just kind of do a nice little crisscross that switches there, and then everything is going to be amazing. Right, just got to wait for this train to get out of here, and then the domino effect will then start. That's all I'm going to say, boys. The domino effect will then begin. We need to sort out some overpasses, an additional one for this. We can separate all of that, but it all needs to begin once this train here has left. Right, are you going to leave? What's going on right now? I need this train to leave. Come on, train. Hurry up and leave right now. Right, now it's going to go. Finally. So with that train now leaving, I can then start to get rid of all of these tracks that it's currently on. So, wait a second. Bam. You're now going to be gone. You're gone. You're gone. Oh, no. Is it still waiting there? Okay, it's currently waiting there. Let's give it a second. Let me just get rid of the under section. Actually, if I get... Oh, no. It's going to have to get rid of all of it. Right, bear with me. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Now I delete. Right, there we go. So what I'm going to do now then is I'm going to delete you and delete you. And we're going to run this naturally going into there. This, because the whole thing is now technically messed up, by the way. It is now all messed up. I'm going to delete you, delete you, delete you, delete you, delete you. Because in reality, this all flies over and all bends around with one another. They're all now in unison and now all in sync. Bring this all the way down to about there, where we'll then bring you in. And then we can then sort out our glorious signals. So that obviously comes into there, and that's where it's going to stop and start. There and there. And then there's literally no longer a need for the Crissy-Crossy. There's no longer a need for it. Now, granted, the signals are a little bit all over the place. They're not in perfect position. But that solved that one. Yes, we only then have one platform they can load and unload from. But I don't particularly think it is the end of the world. I really don't. Now, we've got to separate the food line and the wood line now leading in. Because they then get separated further on down here. So I've got to make this come all the way out and this bendy wendy switch into our new system while also having a new flyover route at the same time. I know, it's a lot to take in, boys. It is a lot to take in right now, but we will get there. We will get there. Right, bring you up and over. You're up and over. Where this line will then go into this new system, I've just got to sort everything all out. So let me just quickly pause. Because this is going to cause a little bit of chaos right now is all I'm going to say. Actually, no, let me continue. Because we are going to need another system like this. So let me just kind of get it all planned out first and foremost. Let me just get rid of these signals here and here. And... do you know what? No, we're just going to run from there. It's a lot to take in, but separating it all, yes, it's a little bit OTT, but this is going to be absolutely amazing. Right, I'm going to pause it there now while I've got a bit of breathing space. And I'm going to delete you and you. Delete all of this. Delete this. A little bit of an overpass right now. I know this is a bit dramatic. Bring you in. And it might take a while as well once we're all done and dusted. In terms of everyone figuring out what type of, or what tracks they then need to be on. Because it's going to cause a little bit of a problem. Right. How far do I take this all the way? Yes. So that runs in. The oil line is on the new set of systems. Which we're going to quickly now delete you into here. Because that runs into there. Runs into there. I'm going to quickly delete this, this, and this, and this. Run you all in. Because you're now going to stay on that. So where I need then to separate all of this. So if I delete it far back enough, we can make it look like it runs in here naturally. Even though right now it currently doesn't. So we are looking at then running you to there and then you to there. Now, hopefully, that's all I need to do. There's going to be a little bit of a hiccup. We get this. But everyone is now destined to do what they need to do. It means I can put the crisscrosses closer to the station as well. So no one now shares any other route with anybody else. My only issue is going to be if a train is currently on the wrong tracks and needs to switch over. So I'm going to get rid... Actually, I'm not going to get rid of all of that just yet. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to build the Crissy-Crossies a lot closer. And then we're going to go backwards from here. Do our signals and make everything as efficient as we can. The closer the crisscross, the closer they can get And the more trains we can fit on this line before they get into the station. Right, I'm trying to... Because we're on a bend, it does become a little bit interesting. So signal, signal, and signal. Right, they're now in. So everything beforehand can now be deleted. Because there's just no need for it. There's no point creating any confusion. Are we going to see some of these trains in the wrong section? Yes. Let me get rid of all the signals. I'm going to get rid of them all. And then we're going to redo them. Now, I don't know. And I'm hoping all the trains are on the correct side. I am hoping that. But I can't confirm nor deny. Right, get rid of them all right now. We don't need them like this. I think I might just go from here then. So, bam, bam. So it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's how it's going to be. Back and forth now. There we go. And let's see if I can do this one the same. Problem is, our trains are so long, you've got to be a bit careful about where you are spacing them to make sure nothing overhangs. And I think this is maybe going to be as good as I'm going to want it without measuring. You know what I mean? So that train fits in. Oh, wait, I don't think it fits in there. No, it definitely does not fit in there. You see what I mean? I think what we can do is delete these and delete these, and then that's your space. You could argue we're a bit too close here. We should have done the auto sig, shouldn't we? We should have done auto sig. Because I could have then set it up like on certain lengths. But it is what it is. That will still do the job. That will now still do the job. So I think the trains are all now okay. Everyone can flow in with relative ease. And I don't think there's any pressures, any dramatics, any negativity. I think we're all good. Apart from this backlog coming up the hill, but I don't know whether that's because of the shenanigans that I've just pulled. I'm making all of this now work. I think it's just my shenanigans kind of taking over. Right, that should be now so much more efficient leading in, which means we should be able to pick up so many more goods than we did before because we're able to fly in and out a whole lot easier. That's the game plan anyway. No one has to wait for anybody else apart from themselves on the same line. Perfect, he says. Absolute perfection, he says. He's probably wrong, but he says a lot of things these days, doesn't he, boys? He does say a lot of things these days. So hopefully we'll see a positive knock-on effect with all of this. Now, we do have some interesting stuff getting set up now. We now need to edit the trains because now all of a sudden we have a lot more goods on the platform. There is a lot more demand to get certain goods to certain places. So this is where we then edit the trains and increase their capacity before we think about adding a second train to the line. Right, this is good stuff. This is real good stuff right now. This tool industry is starting to really ramp itself up. It really, really is. Now, I'm sure, right, hold on, as I just knock everything over on my desk right now, I'm sure there is a way here in which we could potentially look at setting up when the train for the train that brings the wood from Shanghai, which has come from Japan, when that comes in, it ultimately goes back empty, right? So I'm sure there's a way in which we could maybe look towards having that take the planks back, but it's only going to inevitably slow it down because obviously it would have to kind of like come into here, drop it off, then go back that way, which has slowed it down. I don't think those trains need to make any extra money. Are they? Yeah, they're pretty okay at the minute. There does seem to be a lot of planks here, but this train's about to come in right now and suck up 300. Right, it's about to suck 300 up. Yeah, so I think we're okay there. I think we're okay. These do need more wood. These are not even that exhausted. I think it's just a little bit of a natural waiting game. Yeah, these need more, but they're not particularly demanding anymore, are they? There's about to be 300 wood now be dropped off. It's almost like they're getting almost enough to kind of continue until we get the big drop off of the train, which sees them for a little bit longer, enough to maybe slowly start creeping up on the leveling systems. These need to demand more, of course they do, but we also need to get more deliveries on the go. But bigger trains are also coming in. Right, this is good. I feel like we are getting somewhere with this. We're going to be a little bit more efficient over here, like I said, so we should see more trains taking goods off the platform. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, how is the supply from Japan looking? There is a lot of wood waiting to be shipped right now. So the boat leaving there has two... Right, okay, we might need to... How much is on there? Do you know what? I'm going to actually duplicate twice as many vehicles. That, I think, is heavily needed. That, I think, is heavily needed right now to get more ships on the go. Oh, my goodness me. I didn't realize. Right, we look like we got a lot of people over here right now. Is this profitable, this line? It's not even profitable, this line. I think these trains might be too expensive. Now, that's the Beijing to Dakar, isn't it? Yeah. I think it might go too far, but also I think because there's backlogs, that's what's also stopping us from making profit. I truly believe that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to add 6 more trains, which might be too many. But let's see how they go. Let's ultimately see how it plays out with them. Interesting. Very interesting. Liking how this is looking as free flowy as we can potentially make it. More ships right now, which will pick up a lot of wood. So let's just give that time. Let's just now give that sweet, sweet time. So we have wood, by the way, being delivered to many places. So Dakar, Hanoi, Mandalay. We now need to think about delivering some of these tools to some of the surrounding areas within China. Now, we worked out, if I wasn't mistaken, that Qingdao requires the goods, the tools, I should say. And to get the goods delivered to Qingdao, we already have a cargo vehicle dropping the goods off from picking up the bricks from here. So if I could get the tools delivered to here, then it would automatically do it. Now, to get the tools delivered there means I could either train them in or ship them in. Now, if I ship them in, that means then just delivering the goods to this station here, because it then gets passed onto the harbour. But with it being as close as it is, would it just make more sense to drive the goods to Guangzhou? Now, there's no one else around here that requires it, is there? Looking around at the little islands, no. Not around here in reality. So nobody else around here requires it, unless you wanted to also deliver them to Wuhan. So now I could do a train. I could do a little train that goes back and forth. And if it drops the goods off here, it also places them on the vehicle run and the ship run, which automatically gets sent both to Wuhan and Qingdao because the vehicle is able to transport those goods. Right. Let's do a little train run then. This is probably going to be very, very expensive, this train run. But it should work out very well. So let's call it the... so Guangzhou tools. Easy enough for us to understand there. And we need to buy a train, which we want it to be as cheap as possible, this one. And then cargo-wise, it's going to be boxcars. I'll do 100 capacity to begin with, and we'll see how we get on with it. So Guangzhou tools. Hopefully it doesn't cause us too many problems on the line. Right, a lot of trains are trying to get out here, by the way. Everyone's waiting their turn right now. Everybody is waiting their turn. It's because I've bought 6 of those passenger trains, and now I have to wait for them to each individually make their way out of here. Bit of a pain, by the way. Bit of a pain, but they're all slowly start making their way out right now. As this passes, I think this will have the green light to go, which it does. So they'll slowly make their way out. They will slowly get there. No stress. No issues. Just simple rocking and a rolling. Let's go. Takes a bit of time. Because we've got the train junction and everyone's trying to flow in and flow through. Once these passenger trains have cleared, we shouldn't have this type of backlog then, because they're not all waiting for these passenger trains that don't normally go that in that direction, if that makes sense. Right, very good, very good, very good, very good. These are still ticking along nicely. I'm going to preempt it right now and say, do you know what? Let's get a third train on the go there. I'm putting a lot of pressure on this run right now, by the way. A lot of pressure is now being put on this. A lot of trains are also coming through here as well. We might need to refigure or rethink this little system. Now, nothing stops here, does it? No. So they're all kind of bypassing through. But we might need to rethink this little system. If they all bypass through, maybe we should think about... Nothing comes down this way, does it? No. Think about connecting this in the middle. That could be very interesting. That actually could be very interesting. Do I see cargo running all the way down here? I mean, that's when that becomes a little bit of a problem. I'll wait for all these trains to have cleared themselves through anyway, because right now it's too many trains trying to exit this one area, which is causing problems for us. And backlog. Do you know what? It's causing huge problems and backlogs. Do you know what? I'm going to try it now, just for the sake of it. Let me attempt this. Because I feel like this could be quite interesting. I've got nothing to lose. I've got nothing to lose. Except for the fact that I can't elevate this. Right, let me pause. Pause for a second. I'm going to quickly delete this. I know this is going to cause even more problems now. Right, I know that's going to the moon. Right, let me delete you. Right, let me just take that to there. And then take you to there. But you... we still want it to run into there, but the slope is too steep. You're not too steep. Stop the line. How is it too steep? You literally ran in that direction previously. I think it's the bend that's now involved, isn't it? Let me go back to there. Right, let me go to here to here. Right, don't play these games. Don't play these games with me right now. Right. The slope is not too much. You were literally seconds ago just connected. We all seen it. We all see that seconds ago you were just connected. Right, bridge pillar collision issue. Right, we get that. We get that. So if I come off there, the slope is not too much. Why you lying for? Right, do I just now cry? Right, I'm bending it out to give it weirdly, like artificially more length to make it work. Right, this is what I've now had to resort myself to. I am going to delete here and here and here and here, and instead have you. We'll go to there. Bend in. I know what you're probably thinking, Zeniac, this is terrible. And you're probably right. But it stops that annoying crisscross on a lot of these lines. So a lot of the cargo lines coming in, the only ones that now need to crisscross are the passenger line that would then technically use it, thus allowing the cargo lines to freely run through and not have to wait for that pesky passenger line on the inside to do what it needs to do. So all of a sudden, I've just created a bypass, which is perfection. Right, get rid of all of you. Get rid, get rid, get rid, get rid, get rid, because the crissy cross happens there. Now, I don't like that bridge. It didn't need to be a bridge. The slope is being a bit of a pain for me, but all of a sudden right now, them cargo trains can just flow through with absolute ease. You know what I mean? All right, we'll bring them to there. A little bit closer. Absolute ease we've now got with allowing them to flow through. And that will then reduce a lot of the backlogs, also make them cargo trains so much faster because they're just flowing through like nothing they've ever seen before. Now, we might need to start thinking about the trains that do stop here are able to utilize both platforms. So, manage this line, and coming right now, we need to go 1 and 2. And on the way back, 6 and 5. And then that one, 1 and 2, and 6 and 5. Because then all of a sudden we can now unload and load 2 passenger trains at once on either side of the tracks in either direction, which is amazing. So why are we waiting now for this train? Oh, do you know what else we could do here for the cargo? I don't know if it would work. Do that there. And we'll do that there. It just gives us an extra signal to keep the trains moving. Right, that's literally all it is. Now, I reckon... I don't know if it would be a good idea to kind of like short route one of these to make that transition a bit better. I'm not sure yet. We'll just see how it goes. So we are going to have a few issues here and there anyway, but we've alleviated that pressure leading into that station. Yeah, we do have a little bit of pressure here right now, which is inevitable. And we've got to figure out where they're all going. So some go straight ahead, some flip over. We've got then another one that turns off, which is not amazing. Let's be real right now, it's not amazing. I could, in reality, maybe change that one that turns down this way to kind of like come down here and then kind of spin round onto that to alleviate as many pressures as not like a double or a triple crossover, which is a big problem. It is a big problem, but I'm not too worried about it right now because it was backlogging the passenger trains further into here, which we've now sorted out. But I think we do suffer the same issue in many other places. We need to allow them to utilize both sides. So Nanning 1 and 2. And on the way back in, 5 and 6. Nanning 5 and 6. 1 and 2. Because that is the whole point we got it set up like that. So we might as well utilize it. So if we see any other passenger trains waiting like that around, we need to kind of like, you know, just reevaluate how they're coming and going. That is a brand new train leading out. So that just means more trains can now flow through these stations. We can load and unload even quicker. But this is a bit of a problem now, these double crossovers. It is becoming a bit of a problem. So I don't want to have to then start thinking about coming down and then doing another little flip. That defeats the purpose. But it also, you got to then question, well, what does come over here first and foremost? Because as simplified as that is, it is a bit of a problem. And if its sole purpose is to all switch over to go onto there, like I said, we do have a problem. Versus, why couldn't it come up this way and be on the right side as it leads in? That I don't know. But we might need to have a 4-lane set of tracks leading over to stop this crisscross. So one's going down there. The orange is continuing straight. Hold on. What's that orange line? It's for in here. It's not going technically on the right tracks. So manage. So it's going to Chongqing right now. So we need to make sure from Guangzhou, you're on the inner line, first and foremost. All right, just need to make sure that's happening. That's got to be on that side to go into here. So let's just reevaluate this. So you've got one doing the split. You've got an orange one here, which is the planks coming in. Right, I think, right, there's a really simplified way to do this. There really is a simplified way. And if I just ran this out... Oh, we could do it underground. Yeah, we could do it underneath. I didn't realize it was like that. So if I just slightly think about dropping it down. And if I just come out by 2. And brought you to there. And then I think we do it a bit more. I'm just wondering where a good pass for that would be. So like this. And what I'm doing is I'm separating from here, vice versa, to allow us to run in. But I might be able to also get away with running that passenger line on this to run into here as well. It's just a little bit OTT. But this could solve the problem that we're seeing with them having to cross over 4 sets of tracks. So that leads into here. So if I just naturally, first and foremost... Too much of a... Oh my goodness me, it is too much of a slope. So if I do that to there and just quickly drop a signal in there. Alright, that passes on it. That's going to replace that line, by the way. Ooh, does it replace all of them? Is the question. Because I've now just realised something else. That passing over there is only going to solve it for them, which is 2 lines, which is quite important. Let's just keep it for that first. Let's just keep it for that. So the further I push this back as well, the better. So let's keep this going right round. And let's bring it to there. Right, I'm going to have to delete this rail yard connection. And then I'm just going to naturally bring it into there. Bring it into there, and then they'll use the Chrissy cross. We get rid of you. Signal it all up now. There, if I did bam, bam. Right, we're going to change that one to be here instead. Because of the length of the train. So I feel like this is what you got to do most of the time. Is you got to make your mistakes. You've got to see where it works and where it doesn't work. And then everything will then just like rock and roll together. We've got to obviously transition those lines over. So we have a golden line and a brown line. So the golden line is nothing to do with coming out of here. But we've got the... Is it not Dakar? It will be the Guangzhou. So manage this line. As soon as it leaves here, we want this to add a station to go this way. And on the way back, of course, utilize this one. And that separates straight away one of them. But we still have the orange one. Now, this is where the bigger problem now lies. Is, of course, was it beneficial more for this or that? Because in reality, I've only now really got one train line on this. So it's not beneficial for that side whatsoever. It needs to be on the inner side, doesn't it? Okay. So if it needs to be on the inner side then, we've actually got a couple of lines that run through there. But it would mean that inner line has one that goes that way. But I could keep them all separate anyway. And I don't want to merge that over. So I've built all this, and it's only really now beneficial for one line. Bit of a pain, is it? I've now realised they all crisscross over too many times. So those lines that are on this, so if I brought it into that one, it would kind of separate them. So let me just cancel this. And we could set it up as if it does run into there. So, scrap you now. Well, let me get rid of you. So, scrap you to here. Pause. And then it's got to go up and over, which I don't know if it's going to allow me to do that. So, let me just push this back a bit. Get rid of all of this. Right, and let's see right now. Let me go back a bit more. To be honest with you, I could go as far back as here, and then change how they align. So go back as far as there. We are looking in reality to bring you into here is what we're looking at doing. And then we're looking at bringing you into there, which is going to be a little bit more difficult. I feel like it might need to bend one direction before it bends into the other direction. So if I then delete... Oh, damn it, I'm deleting all the wrong tracks. Right, we're now way too high. So go back to there. And then that works. But I don't like the bend on it, but I think it's just something that we just have to take on board. Right, we've flipped the sides of them now, okay? We've now flipped the sides. So that's going to change everything at this point. So if we are now looking to run technically you into here. And you into there, which that will work for a lot of those lines. But you still need the ones that crisscross over. You still got some of them that need to crisscross over, especially, right, the passenger lines. They need to cross over, which they're going to find it a little bit more difficult to do so. Now, of course, I would have had this crossing in normally. I don't know how this plays out for this system here. I think what I do then is bring you over, bring you over. So that then brings back the ability for that one or them lines that come this way and are able to either merge continually straight or merge in after, which some do well, some don't. But it still creates a bit of a problem because I've now got to bring my passenger lines into this. I'm hoping I'm not missing a line, by the way, because I have a sneaky suspicion I might be missing a line to do this. That one line needs to turn into there. The passenger line needs to come onto this as well, which is obviously my next big issue. So the passenger line to do that. Ultimately, right, what are we trying to favor? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're ultimately trying to favor here. But there is also an ability to allow us to kind of bend outwards before this junction. and run you down. So let me go down this route first. I'm trying to separate as many lines as I can while keeping the existing infrastructure. So that really helps those guys bypassing. That helps them there. But there is another line that needs to merge on down into there. Now, I'm wondering if I do that merger just a little bit out of the way. So I could, as this bends in, incorporate you there, you there. And I'm going to separate what uses what. So if I do a signal here and then here, if I do them signals like that, we can then like separate what goes in what direction. So we have coming through these two lines there, which they're orange. One is... What is that orange line? Is it the goods line? Oh, it is. Yes. Okay, it is. Okay, manage this line. It's only one train, so it's not the end of the world. So if I go from Chongqing, we get rid of you. So if I'm Guangzhou, which is over here, comes down on... Well, it needs to be on the middle, so we'll add a station there. Running through the middle, it should still be... Oh, it needs to still be on the middle. Which we'll incorporate there. Coming all the way up, we'll add it to here. And on the way back, it comes this way. Going in, needs to be in the middle. So that all merges. Huh? The third signal's there, so how is it using the outer line there? That's the real question we need answering, don't we? It's almost like we need like a double slip in this system. But it just doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? How was it doing that before? Because these are my two outers. So obviously that moves over. That runs in. We kind of need it here. But there's a bit of a problem with that bridge. And I think if I got rid of this... I mean, I'm going to have to put that back in now, aren't I? Is there another line going down that I don't know about? No, there is only one line, but why is it a... Oh, I think I know why. So Guangzhou, the first signal is there, which is number 2. So if I hypothetically put a signal here, where's the signal? No. Huh? Right, get rid of all the signals. And that's where it's naturally running. Okay, that is where it's naturally running right now. From over here. So coming out, right, it's a cargo train. You need to be running in the middle. So we'll force it to go there. Which it's running completely fine. Staying in the middle. And then it comes off the track there to go into that one. Which you want it to run on the inside. Right, then it merges over to make its way down there, which is completely fine again. Then we want it to go to there. On the way back, it's going to go this way. Running down. Keeping it going. It's got to get onto that side of the track there anyway. Right, all good. Flows in. Right, okay. I don't know what happened right there, but that's now have seemed to have solved it. Okay, not play mode, not play mode. That solves that, where you get that one that bypasses over. Now, we've got to do the wood run. I don't know why that was so confusing. So, from Mandalay right now, we get to... No, hold on, that's not the wood run. Oh, no, it is the wood run. Ah, right, that has to do the same as the passenger line. We need to switch this over onto here, don't we? So, I'm wondering then... if it would make sense, and it's a big ask to do that, or is that just the easy way out? Is that just the easy way out? Because the passenger line can now do it. I'm going to do it there instead. Is that just the easy way out there? I'm not sure if that was just the easy way out. But I've separated some of it. The passenger line is no longer separated. Where are you going to there? To there. So, add station. Separate it. I don't know if I've just chosen the easy way out with doing that. I know that's like OTT. Have I really solved anything? I'd argue and say no. I've solved nothing. Signal-wise, that's just going to go in like that. Ultimately. So I've made this free flowy. I've made that free flowy. They've still got a crisscross here. And there's a train line that's got a crisscross there. But there's less crissy-crossying, if that makes sense. Is there? I still don't know if there is less crissy-crossing. I still don't know. Only time will tell. Only time will tell if that was the right idea or not. It's so overly that's just gone so far beyond belief right now. It's a little bit ridiculous. But other than that, though, we should now be rocking and rolling. We've got multiple trains now leaving. That just left. We've not even filled to the brim. So that just shows me that's only just started being built now. What's going on here? Right, let's configure and add in some more cargo buildings. Let's go for the big boys. So we can store more goods. And wait for those trains to keep arriving. There's another train on the way back. And off they go. A lot of goods on the platform still. So the Gonzo train here, is this making profit? It's one that's only really just started. So I don't know whether to kind of like duplicate it. Or maybe we give it now a 200 capacity. We'll give it a 200 capacity. And then we'll just see how we get on with the rest of it. I'm going to have to now wait until they've all kind of got back into their order, because they will be a little bit all over the place. I still need to sort out all the signals on the bits of tracks that I've now technically got rid of. All right, there we go. That'll create a bit more movement. You're turning in there as well, aren't you? Yeah. I got to wait for everything to now all be spaced out again. It's the only downside. It is the only downside. But, like I said, it's less trains crissy-crossying. I still think it's terrible. Don't get me wrong. I still think it's terrible. But only time will tell. I probably am missing a train line on all of this. I probably am missing a train line. Alright, anywho. It seems to be flowing. It somewhat seems to be flowing. There is other ways in which I can make this better. I can make the passenger line not do what it's doing by having a separate line that bends around and joins onto the thingy there, but it's just over-engineering something that doesn't need to be this over-engineered. It's just... If I look at it too long, it starts to hurt my head. You know what I mean? Right. Lot of wood now being shipped. These have actually upgraded again, which is perfect. We're just now waiting for these, hopefully, to catch up. These are slowly getting there. And with the new deliveries and all that sweet, sweet jazz, tools are on the shipping platform here, which is great. And hopefully they'll make their way over to here at the same time. Changsha bricks right now. Can we just quickly replace these? Cargo with some bigger trucks. 20 capacity or 32? We'll go 32 capacity there. Hopefully we'll start seeing some tools go on the Wuhan line. Which I don't know whether they're going to be dropping off where... Yeah, they are delivering tools to Wuhan. And is King Dao now getting the tools? Yes. So it has trickled down to those cities finally. Those goods are being moved. Perfection. Right, this looks clear now. There's no trains waiting. From what we can see right now, there is no trains waiting. So they're able to free flow a little bit better. And that's really it. That's really it at this point. They're all free flowing a little bit better. So I think it was a good decision in the end. It's just a questionable decision in the end. Are you the plank one? No, you're the wood. Where's the next plank train? Are you the next plank train? Yes. Coming to pick up 300, and there is 500 available. Right, very nice. These haven't even leveled up yet. We still need to deliver even more wood. But we are slowly getting more and more customers. This system's looking a little bit better. Guangzhou tools right now. You might need to speed up the process. We potentially could even need another train. But we'll see how it goes. We'll reevaluate it in the near future. But I think with the work that we've done, everything is flowing a lot more smoother in and out of the cargo areas. Even over here right now, it's so flowy. We love it. Now, we are bringing more trees in. So I think it's now time that we can maybe look at adding an extra 2. Oh, no depot, of course. Of course, because I would have got rid of these tracks, which I don't know how this is now going to play out. In reality, because it all goes in different ways. But we'll reevaluate it anyway. We'll get it all sorted. I might just put more depots on all of these lines here and then be done with it. But I think we will end it here. So before we do, No new record income years as of late. We have crossed the 1.5 billion recently. Expenses are going down a bit. Hopefully the profit now starts to kick back up again and we're rocking and a rolling. Right, this was the infrastructure update episode. And it very interestingly got updated. Until next time, I see you all soon, so goodbye.